Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. Manchester United have gone and lost another game of football. Crystal Palace coming to Old Trafford and getting the win. And just when it felt like for Manchester United fans, we're finally going to get a run of results together, finally gonna start to look like a proper team again, there we go again and lose another game of football. And this game started with 12th against 13th. It shows you just where Man United are at right now. And unfortunately, it shows you exactly why we deserve to be there. Now, for the game, we started with Kobbie Mainoo in the false nine kind of position, and it looked like it maybe could have worked earlier on in the game. He looked bright, he was linking up play, dropping deep. We know he has great control on the ball, great technique. You know, he hits the post with an opportunity early on in the first half, and you're thinking, oh, something's going on here. Maybe we can get a result today. Maybe we can put in a performance today. I thought Alejandro Garnacho looked good at times as well. And we've seen him and Rashford were both, you know, linked with a move away from Manchester United. They were both reported to not be in the manager's good books. And Garnacho has put the work in on the training pitch and on the football pitch as well to prove to the manager that he should be sticking around. Now today is another bad result for the Reds, and not one that we want to see. Premier League is done and dusted. These Premier League games don't really mean nothing. They're just preparation for next season. But you've still got to be doing better than what we are doing at the moment. And it's absolutely abysmal stuff from Man United. And you look at their first goal. I've got to ask, could Andre Onana have done better with that? The first header, now the Mateta's shot from the follow-up, obviously difficult to save, he's a couple of yards out. But the first header hits his crossbar in the middle of the goal. Surely he could have been claiming that. And I feel like every time a goal goes in against Manchester United, I'm sat there thinking, could the keeper have done any better? And usually he could have done better, and I thought that was the case again today. He could have, maybe should have done better. Was the manager sending a message to the board in terms of not picking either of his strikers? Rasmus Højlund's in abysmal form at the moment. Joshua Zirkzee, I think, has shown an improvement in his play, but even if Joshua Zirkzee has a great game of football, he's very unlikely to score. He's one of those kind of players, his link-up play and his hold-up play can be very, very good at times, but he's not the most clinical. He's not getting onto the end of most chances in the box, is he? And in the first half, there was a few of those chances where you go, ooh, if we have a striker in there, maybe, you know, something could have happened. But then you think of, who are our strikers? The Rasmus Højlund, who's going through it at the moment, doesn't look good enough at all. I think he's scored in like 12 of 40-odd Premier League appearances, and Joshua Zirkzee, who wasn't long ago was getting booed off the pitch at Old Trafford, now he's turned it around a little bit, but he's not the most prolific. And maybe the manager's going, look, Matis Telles is available. There's a few people on the transfer market. We just got rid of Marcus Rashford to Aston Villa, which is funny considering Marcus Rashford is good for so many goals, but still couldn't get into this team. You know, if we had a Marcus Rashford that was getting his head down, working hard, doing the right things, maybe he'd be on the pitch for Manchester United, and it'd be a lot easier for him to get into the team because no one's performing. Unfortunately, his future, at least in the short term, lies away from Manchester United. And Manchester United, from the medium, short term, long term, we need to be finding a striker who's going to fit the bill at the club. Because at the moment, the guy wearing our number 9 shirt, and look, I do have a little bit of time for him. He's a young lad who's learning his trade, who's trying to get better, but he's not going to be the guy for us at the minute. And we need someone up there in that front position to do it. Now, the trouble is we're being linked with players who are young themselves, who have got potential, yes, but aren't the finished product at the moment. So we need to bring in a striker, that is for sure. And maybe the manager was pointing that out today. But overall, just not good enough. Just not good enough. And I've seen a few people running around going, change the formation, change this, change that. And whilst I think the manager has to take some responsibility, he'll be well you know, aware of that, and I'm sure he'll be pretty honest in that statement as well. These players have failed in a number of formations and in a number of tactics. I don't mean under all the managers. I hate when people say that, oh, he failed for 4 or 5 different managers. A lot of these players have only played for 2 managers at Manchester United. But the manager has to stick by his guns, unfortunately, and I still stand by that. He has to stick by his guns to try and see who can play his style of football, who cannot play his style of football before we get to the summer and hopefully have a lot of changes in there. Now, we do need to show some good form as well, because we've still got the FA Cup to play for, we've still got the Europa League to play for, which is our only way into European competition. Obviously, if you win the FA Cup, you get into the Europa League. If you win the Europa League, you get into the Champions League. So there's still a chance for Manchester United to get European football next season, but it's definitely not going to be by our league form, and it's definitely not going to happen if we continue to play like this. Now, we have had problems with Crystal Palace over the years, yes, but we've had problems with most teams in the Premier League over the years, and that is because we are not quite good enough. And another performance like that today, another disappointing thing to see, was Lisandro Martinez stretchered off the pitch in tears. Oh, so gutted for him, man. He's had some big injuries whilst he's been at Manchester United, and he's been available most of this season. Most of this season he's been available, but again, another big injury pops up for him, and it looks like it was his knee. He seemed to twist it, jar it in a challenge down in the wide areas of the pitch, and then he was stretchered off in tears. Doesn't look good for Lisandro Martinez. Now, whilst we do have, you know, Harry Maguire, who started today, De Ligt, who was on the bench and then came on for Lisandro Martinez, and Lenny Yoro, you know, Lisandro Martinez was someone who was popping up with a goal for us, and his passing from those deeper areas was really crucial as well. You know, you think of some of the assists and goals he's helped create in recent times. Lisandro Martinez has been a real key player for Man United, but again, it looks like he's going to be out for a while, and Manchester United are going to have to recover from that. And another defeat at Old Trafford, no goals scored, 2 goals conceded. It's real poor stuff at the moment, and we need to see some change. We need to see the penny drop in our performances. We need to see the penny drop in terms of these tactics, and we need to move forward, hopefully, confidently, into next season. At the moment, that's not going to happen though. It's not going to happen, and from back to front, there's just more questions than there are answers. Andre Onana, are you the guy for Manchester United next season? It's starting to look like that's probably not the case. Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee, are you the guy to lead the line for Manchester United next season? It's starting to look like that isn't the case. We've got a lot of gaps we need to fill, and whilst it's been refreshing, you know, today we unveiled Aidan Heaven and Patrick Dorgu were being linked with the young lad from Sporting Lisbon. We seem to be eyeing up the right profile of players to bring into the club, but the manager needs to get results to earn time and earn his spot in the team as well. That's not me suggesting he's going to get sacked, but you don't want to be going into next campaign with a negative feeling, with a feeling like, right, if this doesn't happen here, then what? Because that's where we seem to be this season with Erik ten Hag. If it doesn't happen, then you're going to have to go. So frustrating being a Manchester United fan at the moment. So frustrating. What the fuck is going on? What the hell is going on at this club? Another defeat. 13th, 14th in the table. Remember when the manager said this is the worst team, Manchester United team? Is not looking wrong right now. And even if he didn't mean in the whole of the club, it's definitely in terms of the Premier League era. Oh boy, this is bad. Anyway, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Keep it like, comment, share, subscribe. See you in a bit.